we're still talking about the 2019 elections. Well, we'll be talking about that until the elections are eventually over. And, you know, of course, there'll be post-election analysis. But in the studio this morning, we have with us Mr. Osita Chidoka, who is the Chairman, Strategy Committee of the PDP Presidential Campaigns. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much.
And we also have with us Ibrahim Modibo, who is a member, Presidential Campaign Council of the APC, and also a board member of the Abuja Broadcasting Corporation. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Magwe.
Well, gentlemen, we already see that the air is charged. I mean, Mr. Igini observed as much just before he left here. And, you know, the campaigns are still on. Your candidates are still selling to the people what it is that they intend to do for them as the elections, when the elections are over, if either of them becomes president at the end of the day. But then let's quickly look at the environment. Everybody wants its elections to be conducted in peace. But what we have now is the PDP threatening to pull out of peace accords. Why is that, Mr. Chidoka?
Well, it's a combination of factors, and I think the latest trigger was a comment that PDP has protested about body bags and foreign interference in the election. A rather unfortunate statement, but I think that it doesn't bode well for our democracy when the custodians of democracy, when those who came to power through the ballot paper use incendiary language. And for one thing, it may not be the person making the statement that will cause any harm, but he may instigate others who are not as knowledgeable, who don't understand what the issues are. The problem of inciting violence is that sometimes comments we make can lead our supporters and our followers who are prone to violence to do harm to other people. So I think there is need for an apology for that statement. There is need for the APC and the governor of Kaduna State to make it very clear. I don't think it is right for him to say, to stand by his statement. The statement is rather unfortunate, and I think he should quickly clarify that.
Let me quickly ask you, do you think any situation at all justifies a party saying they will pull out of peace accords? Don't you also think that that could send a rather wrong message to supporters if things do not go their way at the end of the day?
So we're saying we will pull out. We haven't pulled out of the accord. We're warning that if this persistent, I mean, look at the situation now. The government declared IPOB a terrorist organization and banned them from operating. And yesterday in Aba, the police were escorting IPOB to protest about boycott of elections. So who are we, what are we talking about here? This is actual interference. This is an organization that the government had said they had prescribed, which we opposed the prescription. I still oppose that prescription. It is illegal. It is not something acceptable to us. But the same police were escorting them on a rally on boycott of elections. So what we're saying is that there are a series of events. I mean, look at the deployment of the new commissioners of police that we have just seen yesterday. It is strange to me that there is no commissioner of police in the ones deployed from Anambra, Imo, Abia, where all people of northern extraction. There is no South-South police commissioner in the Southeast. There is no Southwest police commissioner. And the same people in the Northwest, and you find that in Katsina, in Kaduna, everywhere, they posted police commissioners that are of northern extractions in those places. So why are there no police commissioners who understand the lay of the land, who understand the land 3 weeks to an election? You are bringing somebody who doesn't know what local government, where is the Demili local government? So in 1 week to an election. So I think that there is a conspiracy of intimidation. Just yesterday, we had one of the people, Chieftain, was arrested by the EFCC and accused of offenses that he has already been charged to court for. He's on bail, but they brought up new offenses ostensibly because they believe he's supporting the Atiku campaign. So this is a climate of intimidation. We can't go to an election intimidated.
Well, Mr. Modibo, how do you respond to that? I mean, do you think, first and foremost, do you think that any situation could warrant a party to pull out of peace accords?
Well, it's a very unfortunate situation. Assuming, Magwe, without necessarily conceding to the flawed argument of the PDP that Nasir El-Rufai's statement warranted a situation where he is inviting chaos and confusion. It's not true. Anyone that read that statement, you see, the Nigerian press has gone on board, misinterpreting this statement. Nasir's statement was a harmless statement. He made reference to the Venezuelan issue, why he stated that Nigeria as a sovereign nation, as a sovereign country, doesn't need foreign interference. He did not say foreign observers. He said foreign interference. If you could recall, President Bush, or is it Bush or I don't know his name, the President of the United States of America.
The current one?
Yes, the current one.
President Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. You knew what has transpired in Venezuela after the elections. He has threatened, after the candidate of the opposition went on board, went to the media.
After the elections, what the situation is for them to call for elections. That's what they want the president to do.
No, you know, there was an election. And the opposition leader went and declared himself president. While there was there was a sitting president. So now he aligned with the opposition and called for the sitting president to resign. And that is interference. In Committee of Nations, you don't interfere into the internal issues of a country.
I think we should, I think, just a moment, sir. Yes. I think we should listen again. I think there is some, there's a statement, there is a reaction by the PDP and also the governor of Kaduna State clarifying what it is that he said in that statement. Could we have that report, please?
Nigerians are still in the shock over comments by the governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who declared on the national television that members of the global democratic institutions that are working for a peaceful election in Nigeria will return to their countries in body bags. What a threat. We call on the international community to immediately impose a travel ban on El-Rufai, as well as members of his family, for this inciting comment against peaceful elections in our country. Our party is left with no option than to consider a review .
What I said is based on intelligence that is available to us, that the opposition PDP is trying to prepare grounds to cause crisis in Nigeria and inviting foreign participation. They are discussing it, they call it the Venezuelan option. They know that they are likely to lose the elections. They are putting out information that they have won. They have issued a poll showing that they will win. They are procuring the sympathy of international community to issue statements like the 3 statements, coordinated statements on the suspension of the Chief Justice, and linking that to the election as if the government or the ruling party has anything to hide regarding elections. They are doing all this to prepare grounds to protest and cause crisis in Nigeria and advance their so-called Venezuelan option. You all know what is happening in Venezuela. Now we are not going to sit and allow unpatriotic Nigerians to confuse and procure the misguided support of countries that are supposed to be our friends without sounding a note of warning to them. We welcome international observers. We invited them, okay? And we want them to be part of the process. I will protect them. But they are here to observe. They are not here to intervene. They are not here to provide the foundation for crisis in Nigeria, which is what the PDP has been preparing for. It is their ultimate last option, and we are all aware of it. Okay? This is the essence of my statement. I don't want anybody to confuse what I said to mean that Nigerians will kill any foreigner they see. No.
That's the reaction of the PDP and the clarification by Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Sadly, we're not able to get the original comments. But, you know, how, first of all, do you react to that accusation that you're preparing, your party is preparing the grounds for chaos?
But Mark,
just a moment, sir. Let him quickly react to that.
That's again another unfortunate statement because the governor's choice of words in describing those who are calling for free and fair election in Nigeria, who are calling for international observers to observe what is going on in Nigeria and not allow the Nigerian government to intimidate and harass opposition as unpatriotic Nigerians. That again is what I call hate speech. It is demonization of the opposition. It is this same APC in 2014, Governor Amechi issued a statement that APC will form a parallel government if the elections are rigged. And Lai Mohammed came out and said that is the stand of the party, that if PDP tries to rig this election, APC will form a parallel government. This was said in 2015.
It was a big if, but you know, how first of all would you react to that?
I've told you before I was stopped, I honestly believe that the nation, the media has misinterpreted what Governor Nasir El-Rufai stated. He was quoted out of context. Because if you look at what he stated clearly that Nigeria, a sovereign nation, does not need foreign interference. And he was talking of the preparation of maybe these countries coming in with military might to come and descend on Nigeria, and it's unacceptable. And that is the stand. Honestly and sincerely, PDP, they are registry. When they see this mammoth crowd, they just develop instant diarrhea. If they see even their shadow, they start running away. You know,
they have said that your party has created the environment. Let's look at the situation in Kano, where they were refused the stadium. Even though now we see Kano backtracks, grants a chance to use stadium. Why in the first place would anybody deny another party or a party from using, public facilities?
No. You see, this is not true. I strongly believe that the issue of the use of the stadium, as at the time of this report, honestly and sincerely, I know Governor Ganduje to be a Democrat of conscience. He's a man that will never stop any party under a democratic atmosphere from using the stadium. As at that point, there are competitions that have been lined up. So they are trying to, weigh the grounds and then make the stadium very habitable for football competition, which is meant for. Unfortunately, this has been interpreted to be a kind of a gag, to the PDP. But I'm happy that today the stadium has been, the ban has been lifted, and the PDP will go into the stadium. So let them go, and let's see what will happen. Because if you look at Kano, is the hotbed of the APC. It is the home base of President Muhammadu Buhari. I was on his campaign trail as a national director of publicity for APP from 2001. We went to 2003 with Muhammadu Buhari. 2007, we also went to Kano. Whenever we go into Kano, it is as if there's an earthquake. The whole people of Kano are mobilizing in their hundreds, their thousands for President Muhammadu Buhari. And therefore, you saw what has happened.